wants you.
The change?
Chinese guy?
Yeah, whoever it was, because they just called and said someone charged $20 to your room, whatever.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And was she hot, the chink?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, we're gonna wake you up just for this. Downstairs right now, there are about 100 women in a room, in a conference, and there's a speech. The doors are wide open.
Oh, you walk
Let's go down and burp. Come on.
Just keep
Come on,
walking
get
by
dressed.
Belgium.
I would not. You know what? If my girlfriend goes, look, I got a car accident, can you come get me? I'm like, I'm sleeping. There's 100 women in there. Let's go fucking bother them.
That's great. Maybe I'll walk down my pants around my ankles, keep walking by.
It's a new day. Fuck, boy. Just yelling.
What are you doing? You tell me.
I had to
Oh,
do
what's
it quick.
going? What had been going?
I had to do it quick.
That one got in my mouth. Oh, he's got the stickers and he's walking them out. It's cropped up enough to the door.
Fucking throw.
Okay. Good.
Are we supposed to be there for all 7 hours?
Wonderful. Their whole time is 9 to 4. Our time is 1 to 4.
That's attractive.
I'll see you tomorrow, Beatrice.
No, that his birthday.
What are you in high school, she said?
She's dead.
Bye, Beatrice.
I didn't do that. He's had a big breakfast.
Woo! Come on. I'm gonna cut a gas her. I'm gonna cut a gas her.
I guess.
You can eat?
Nice cast.
Is it you?
What?
It's disgusting.
What?
But he brings me to like people I did it. It's nasty stuff.
So pop your head in there. See what's going on in there.
Well, we will be back to the evening probably, everybody, so. But Debbie, I will see you Monday.
What do you care?
Good to see you too. I'll see you again when? For a conference.
Where's the restaurant?
Well, it's not on.
Well, I don't care if we're off.
No, it's. I'm just holding it. It's not on.
Everything in life is great.
Our pal Casey Armstrong.
Oh, wow. Everybody, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Casey Armstrong. Dude, I'm so happy to be here, man. Yeah.
For my buddy, Casey Armstrong.
Okay. Okay.
Aretha Franklin. What are the chances of Aretha Franklin being in that movie? And cease the struggle. Woo! Freeze! Freeze me! Freeze me! Want to freeze? I would like a raspberry freeze. Please get me a freeze. Please. All right, everybody. Hey, happy Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. All right, guys. Hey, I got the gentleman that is going to join us in a minute is giving you a Christmas gift. If you're a friend of the Dabbleverse, if you're interested in the Dabbleverse, if you got questions, if you're just a fan, Vince and Bessie, Vince, the evil lawyer, there's a million names for Vince. You're on Team Vince. Some people hate Vince. It was a time I hated Vince. But even if you are in that thinking, well, I was there, guys. Don't worry. A little fuck will grow on you, though. And now I like to fuck. But, that could change in a minute. This is the Dabbleverse. This is what happens. But what this gentleman has agreed to do, I think, is very admirable. And it's a gift to the Dabbleverse. Who else puts themselves out there? He's doing his impression of my Lord and Savior. He's putting himself out there to take on the sins of the Dabbleverse. He's going to answer anything you guys want. If you got a question, he's going to answer it. And he's agreed not to turn it around and do lawyer chicanery and send it back to us. No, this is a gift he's given to the Dabbleverse where we get to ask him questions. All right? And I have a new thing that we're doing. He didn't ask for this, by the way. Vince did not ask for this. But I told him, I said, you come on here, you're doing such a nice thing. Whatever super chats come in here, we're going to split it in half. Because you know what he does with them. If he ever gets a super chat on his show, a super chat like Kevin Brennan on his show, what he does is he takes those super chats and he uses them. He puts them back into the Dabbleverse. Like he'll fuck with me, he'll fuck with Phil, he'll fuck with Chulies. That's what he does. He didn't ask me for any money to do this, so I respect that about Vince and Bessie. And what we're gonna do from now on is I had bought in these little labels for the sauce that I made, and I got bad news about that. The sauce was so good, I don't got leftovers to send to Vince and to you fucks. But what I did get was this pencil and these black stickers, which Coach is wearing right now. And by the way, let's all say hello to Coach, please. Everyone, let's go. We don't do shit until we say hello to Coach. Do it. Do it now, and do it kindly. Let's go. There we go. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And so Coach is, if you can see on his, well, you can't see, I'll show it to you later, but on his arm, he is wearing these little stickers with white writing on it. And if you send in a very congratulatory super chat, Coach is going to wear it on his arm. And they'll be up there for a week. And guess what? The winner gets to keep on his arm for the next week. So do you want to be written on, do you want your super chat to be written on Coach? Here's your chance. But if not, send it in anyway, because we got work to do tonight. We got questions to ask Vince. I don't care if it's the super chat or a regular one. You just, as they say, you get to cut the line with the super chats. But we're going to read the regular ones. Don't feel obligated to do that. You guys are so nice. Right now, he's got Leo Gunn, 25 memberships on his arm. That's what we got going on. So, guys, right now, with no further ado, I'm sorry to keep him waiting. I know he had family over today and he had a bunch of stuff going on. Guys, it is our guest for Christmas Eve, and the gentleman that we have a lot of things to ask and to discuss. Guys, it's my friend, Mr. Vince Imbesi, Vince the Evil Lawyer. Mr. Vince.
What's going on, Case?
You're looking handsome. What do you got? What do you got going on there? What were you at a show or something?
No, I'm upstairs. My son's sick, so they kicked me out of the room, so I had to go upstairs and do this.
Oh no! My nephew got the flu too. I guess it's going around with the kids. Is he? It's not COVID, but it's the flu, right?
Yeah, the first thing we did was give him the COVID test, because we have like 70 from when the schools are giving them. We have nothing to do with them. Right. So, can you hear me okay, by the way?
You sound great.
Okay. Well, you look great, as usual.
Thank you, sir. I'm a handsome guy. What do you want me to say?
So I guess people are wondering, how the hell are you and I speaking?
It's Christmas.
Hey, besides it being Christmas, how are you and I speaking after the major war we went through?
Yeah, I'm sure there was a time where you didn't care for me much, and there was a time I didn't care for you much, but through humor, we've tend to develop a friendship out of humor, because I think you feel the same way I do. If it's funny, you can't get mad at the guy.
Yeah, you've always said that. We also have a bond, a strong bond, in watching mainly naked, muscular men get in the cage and grab at each other. Like, you and I love that, and we bonded over that, right?
Yeah. However it gets done, it's good it gets done. If anyone else can find common ground, if it's through naked men, butt drags, do it. The world needs more of that.
Yeah, in fairness, the guys that we admire aren't fully naked, but they're mainly naked in spandex, sweaty, muscular, and the goal is really to get on their back and choke them. That's the kind of things that we didn't realize we both love and both have in common. And with that, we're here today. And I do commend you for actually having me on, because I never hated you. you know my type of humor, and it's a different type. But one thing about you, Casey, a few things that I admired was that one, with your mom, you said that she doesn't watch the show and she never listened to the show, and that allowed you to do what you wanted to do, be goofy, be subject to all these gay things. And for me, I have a hard time because my wife and my kids watch every single second of what I do, and I
Oh,
just have to. Yeah, I know. And sometimes they'll say certain things, but like because they love John, they really do. And
there's
and
two of
this,
my questions. Three of them you just asked them.
yeah, they do. There's no joke in that. They sit there and they watch everything, and it was tough initially for them to see their dad performing and being up in front. But yeah, so we're together. I commend you for having me on, and I'm willing to obviously answer anything. But I'm hoping that you and I can eventually get together and do what we originally planned to do was something on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's 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 directing towards that way as we trust each other more. But people not only love you, they love Coach here. Vin, look, they say, "What do you mean this isn't live?" No, no, this is live. Vin is taking time away from his family, and he's doing something really nice here tonight. So that's what that whole thing is about. Did you had people in, right? Even with your son being sick, what did you just go in a different room and have he just went in his room or something?
Yeah, basically, he stayed in his room. We're like, should we open up his gifts or send them back? We torture the kid even when he's even when he's sick. Yeah, he hears us open up the gifts and shit like that. But we actually saved one gift. We wheeled a gift in. The poor guy is like throwing up and everything else. So Devin, and I feel bad, but yeah, I was supposed to do this from his room, but they kicked me upstairs here, so that's where I am today. What do you do in the Armstrong household generally for Christmas Eve?
When I was a kid, Christmas Eve, my grandmother used to make spaghetti and meatballs, and then the next day would be the sauerbraten dinner. That would be the main thing. So I took over this year. People came to my place, my mom and my stepdad and my brother, and a friend or two came to my place. And you'd be proud of me as an Italian. I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to send it to you because it's all gone. But I made a braciole. I made the braciole with the meatballs and the sauce. It went overnight, and it turned out to be a huge hit. They loved it, and it's like it sucks telling you about how good something was, but I can't give you any of it. But I know the recipe. I'll try it again. What did you guys have for dinner?
We ordered in some lobster, some shrimp, shit like that. Nothing crazy, but I didn't cook anything. Everything was ordered in because my wife is Jewish, by the way, so she didn't have
I
the
was going to say
tradition.
there's something Jewish going on there.
Yeah,
That's what Jewish people do.
yeah, they do. And besides being cheap, they also order in food, so I have to deal with like both of that.
Well, I would love to ask questions more about Christmas. It is Christmas. You people out there, you get your Christmas gift today. This man knows everything about the Dabbleverse, about his relationship with John, with High Pitch Eric, with Shulies, with anything, his motives, everything. You guys get to ask that, and he's being nice enough to answer your questions. So I'll start us off because I know you guys are chomping at the bit. I already got people right here. So, hey, Vince, if you don't mind, can we get started right here?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, my man. A lot of people want to know, and by the way, a lot of these are mine, but people have asked me things over time, and I figured I'd just throw them in too. You do a lot of work on the Dabbleverse. You're pulling tape. You're doing shows. You are fucking with people. People want to know, are you a practicing lawyer?
The answer is yes, I am. I have a firm. I have people that work for me.
You have
And
5, don't you?
yeah, and I've been fortunate enough, Casey, in the past like few years where the business has grown to the point where I don't have to go day to day inside the business, right?
You don't
So
have to do shit anymore. You got people to do it.
well, yes and no, but ultimately, the way I represent generally plaintiffs, so those are individuals that are suing people for the most part, and that business is up and down. And when there's a big case, it could change your life in terms of finance. Because generally we get a percentage of what we win, like 33% of what we win generally. So in the past few years, I've had more success and I've been able to devote a little bit more time to the entertainment aspect of my life. But did you know, like I've had clients that have been involved in this for a long time. And even myself, there was a show called The World's Dumbest, like World's Dumbest Athletes, World's Dumbest Criminals, things like that.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I wrote for that show.
Get out
So
of here.
you remember when the comedians would pop up and they would say something?
Yeah.
That was the stuff that I was writing for. So they give us the videos beforehand. It'd be like 30 videos for a show. And if I had a client going on, I'd do it. And also when not. So it was cool. So like that kind of thing kind of parlayed into what we're sort of doing now. So it's not so foreign to me as to the writing aspect of it. But the production, putting my face out there, putting myself out there is something completely different for me.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy?
I never thought about it because I always said like I don't want to perform to like 100 drunks, but that's also that's also sort of a cop out too in a way. To me, I like being where I am, and perhaps it's just in terms of when I'm doing my comedy. It's not face to face.
Because you're not in the back anymore. You're not behind the scenes. You put yourself out there now, just like you do in the courtroom. And
Right.
you got to be able to speak in front of people. I assume a lot of the shit you do in the courtroom is kind of what you do on your show.
Yeah, you're 100% right. In terms of questioning, in terms of speaking, and in terms of having the proper speech and the technical aspect to speak, those are things that I love. And when I do train a lot of people, great attorneys and even non-attorneys in terms of public speaking, it does come into play when I'm speaking with you right now. You don't generally hear me saying, like,
You're very good at that. You don't do that. And it's hard to do.
It takes a while, but anyone can do it. And this is not a great skill, but a lot of people just speak to each other. They don't listen, and they speak in improper form. I mean, how many dumb white people do you know that they teach their kids, I want my kid to learn Spanish, I want my kid to learn chess, when they don't even know how to speak English, first and foremost.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your dad used to tell me that too, because you don't believe that I went to your dad's camp, which is funny because you and I, when we come back together, you're like, well, Vince, let's do a bet every week. And if you lose or I lose, we'll have some sort of prize. And then you said, well, Vince, if you win this week, I'll tell everyone you went to my dad's camp. I'm like, dude, I went to your dad's camp for 2 years and you still don't believe me.
So you didn't go to the camp in the woods. You went to where?
I went to East Stroudsburg University, probably 1993, 1994, the summers. I know, Casey, that one year we were in a different dorm, or maybe we weren't even a dorm. To the last year, we were definitely at a different place where we slept at night. Now, I don't know what was going on with Coach Armstrong in 1994, but something definitely changed at the camp. Gene Mills was always there both years.
As a clinician.
Yeah, exactly. And look, maybe your dad, maybe he was going like this, giving the big hand. And I don't exactly remember what year that was, but I remember the big hand. He was German. He would tell us the stories. I know your grandfather's name is the Colonel. I know you're all Germans, so like that was his big thing, the big hand. And people didn't believe me at first, but like, I can't make this shit up.
This way, didn't go.
I'm pretty sure from my memory.
So what you're demonstrating is it's a straight out something that we don't like to do. So we do the big hand, and then my old man said, hey, Gene Mills is here. Everyone, give him a big hand. And then if someone would start clapping, he'd say, no, give him the Berg big hand. And that's what Vince is talking about there.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Berg was just short for East Stroudsburg, which is the location of the camp in Pennsylvania. Do you remember when you would roll up to camp? There's the little town that's there. It's only one town. There was a McDonald's literally like right in the middle. Now you were there all summer, but like we had to weigh in. Did we weigh in at I think it was like the first day.
As soon as you came in, you weighed in, so no one had any weight. That's even before you did registration, I think.
Right,
so
but
when you were registering, you weighed in, so nobody saw any weight. Yeah,
but we didn't. But when we were driving up, we passed by that little town with the McDonald's right in the middle. In fact, if we were lucky, you have a parent that would wait for us to weigh in and then go back to the McDonald's in East Stroudsburg University. You know,
So
like,
yeah, there was a
yeah.
Wawa right across too, which I don't know if people know what a Wawa is. It's the best place to get sandwiches. It's like a 7-Eleven, but they make like quality sandwiches. But you had the knack for it, because if you were to just lose 5 pounds on your way up there and didn't eat on the way up there, you'd be in a completely different bracket for the 2 tournaments, and you do yourself a great service. So you guys, I guess maybe your coach told you, I don't know who told you, but that was a huge help, and you took advantage of it.
Yeah, you had mentioned before that you were going to speak to our wrestling coach. Really had nothing to do with it. Like we had a group of like 8 guys from our team that were just going to your dad's camp for those 2 years, and I don't remember our wrestling coach being involved at all. But either way, I mean, I was there.
But
So,
you guys were in the same cabin, right? All your
same,
teammates?
yeah. Every one of us from the same. We slept in the same cabin / dorm room, whatever
Dorm.
it was.
Okay, yeah, because it was
Yeah.
different. You went to the college. Do you know anything about Dom DiGiacchino?
No, who's that?
He was the East Stroudsburg University D1 wrestling coach, and the whole thing was being set up for my brother to take over. And when my dad got sick and he was on his way out, my brother was supposed to take over the camp, and he was ready to do it. But this Dom DiGiacchino, who was the head coach at East Stroudsburg University, went to the administration and said, "Hey, I'm a D1 wrestling coach, and I don't have a camp. Who's this Armstrong guy who has a camp? I should have the camp." So what they did was they took it away from my old man and they gave it to this guy. But the fun of the story is he got locked up for pedophilia.
Yeah, and you were the kid, right?
I wish. No. He turned out he was a complete scumbag, and yeah, man, it's a sad story because my brother was gonna take that over, but you got there, Vince, probably at the last year that it took place, probably.
Yeah, because I remember your dad saying, like, this fucking wop at East Stroudsburg is trying to take over my camp. My son's getting a little too old. Do you mind, Vince, going in because you're still underage and trying to get him to hook up with you? And I said, Coach, I'm so annoying. No one's ever tried to hook up with me, Casey. Never any of the custodians at any of my schools. No one. I've always been so annoying. No one's ever tried to molest me. And my parents would always say, Casey, that don't ever worry about being kidnapped. Because as a kid, I used to worry about being kidnapped. I'd watch Rescue 911 on TV, and I was always afraid of someone breaking into my house. And my parents said, "You're so annoying." They come back within 15 minutes and drop you back off. They really did say that. So after they said that, I'm like, all right. And no custodian ever made a pass at me, not a priest. I've been alone with priests, nothing.
You poor thing, Vince. Really, you had it rough.
Have you ever been molested?
We're not doing that. We're doing Vince.
Okay.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, he was just telling a funny joke there. But now we're getting into the questions. We're getting into the serious questions because I know you got them. I see a million of them come in.
Yeah, let's get some super chats up there.
Yeah, get them up in there, and I'll write them on Coach. So, okay, I'll go one for one with the audience.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah, you got all those questions. Go ahead.
Let me start them off with a one that, because I know Vince, he's not afraid to put it out there, and when he said that we could do this, there's no, hey, handle it with kid gloves. Give it to him. Right. He'll handle it. That's what he does. Okay. So I'll go one, and then I'll go to Anthony next. All right, here we go. Hey, since John is not under attorney-client privilege, has John ever told you a blatant lie? Has he ever admitted he lied about something, and what was it?
Okay. So one of the things I teach people when they're asking questions is not to do the compound question. So you asked me 3 questions in there. So compound question meaning more than one question. So if I just answered yes or no, you don't know what question I'm answering. So your first question, I think, was, has John ever lied to me about
Has
something?
he told you a blatant lie? Because you're not. Is he under
Gotcha.
attorney-client privilege? He's not, because he doesn't pay you, right?
Okay, hold on. So yes and no, Casey. You know that if you ever saw Sopranos, where Tony Soprano's thinking about getting divorced, and he goes to all the best divorce attorneys, and he just has a consultation with them, and that blocks his wife from hiring that attorney because he had a consultation with them. So
Oh.
just because you don't technically hire someone doesn't mean that there's not attorney-client privilege. So I would never speak about anything, including that I spoke about with so many people that you would not believe, who you may believe are my enemies. When they talk about something serious, it's got to be serious, including yourself, if we ever spoke about anything legal. So I wouldn't ever speak about that. But I think you're speaking more about, is there anything specific that you believe John lied to me about?
No, my first question, I guess I just got to break them down, and what I did was a compound question. Is that what I just did by answering a bunch?
Asking more than one question.
Avoid those. I'll
one at a time.
I'll try and okay. Is John your client?
Not right now.
So the fact that he was, you're alluding to at one point he was, so you can't speak without his permission, right?
On some level. So like I know that you're referring to, let's say, the Anne-Marie issue.
Where I purposely didn't want to bring her up.
Okay, but look, let's get to it. You said, well, Vince, if you're not representing John, how can you speak with Anne-Marie? How can you speak about the Anne-Marie subject?
Okay,
yeah, I get what you were saying. And yeah, I mean, an attorney can disclose information that's not relating to the specific conversation I have with John. I don't even want to get into like what I spoke with John, because I can't. But why
can't you? Did he pay you?
That's the thing. Again, remember that just because someone pays you or retains you doesn't mean that there's not a privilege. So like, there's a few things that I would like to speak about, but on some level I can't. But
talk to me, because I'm retarded and started at little increments. Did he ever pay you?
I couldn't even say that, Casey. I couldn't say that. Non-legally, no, he's never paid me for anything.
Non-legally. So he might have paid some kind of legal fee.
Right.
Okay.
And Casey, doesn't mean for the Anne-Marie thing. John and I have been together for a long time, and we've worked on a bunch of different things that you may not know about that could be legal also.
Yeah, I don't know about it. But I just want to know, like, if you are going to employ an attorney, you got to pay them. And I know you're the only one he has paid, because all the other ones he never paid.
Yeah. So again, like, I don't want to like get into those specifics, only because I'm not allowed to, unless John comes out and says, Vince, you can speak about.
Well, he did pay you then.
I can't, again, I don't want to go back and forth on that issue. It's just that conversation, those transactions need to remain confidential. But for you and I and this whole thing, it doesn't necessarily matter, because I explained to you, just because he doesn't pay me doesn't mean we don't have some form of a bond that I can't release certain information.
But I'm talking about, because you're a legal attorney,
right?
And I'm interested in the black and white legal ramifications of him using your services. And do some attorneys work for free?
Yes, absolutely.
And that gives you the same privilege, attorney-client privilege, even if they don't pay. Is that what you're saying?
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, it's called pro bono, the Latin term, for free. And yeah, of course, paying an attorney is not a prerequisite to having an attorney-client privilege or an attorney-client relationship.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for explaining that, because I didn't know. And a lot of people out there don't know either.
Yeah, it's okay.
So we want to get that out there. So I'll come back to it, but let me go to the audience, because they're part of this too. Dom DeLuise, which I thought might have been you, I guess it's not, wants to know, has Vince ever had a homosexual experience? All right, Dom, good question, buddy.
No.
Not anything at all. Not not a sword fight like Howard had, or yeah. Well, I guess no is no. You know what no is.
yeah. Not even a gay guy would hit on me, Dom. But no, the answer is no.
Okay, and this might go under what we were talking about part of my compound question was, has John ever admitted he lied about something, and what was it? Now, you said that even if it's pro bono and he didn't pay you, you can't answer that.
But only if it's in a legal context, right? Okay, so if he lied to me about something other than what you really want to know is the Anne-Marie shit.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Okay, all right. So is there anything else? I don't think John's ever really lied to me about something significant. What John used to do, Casey, when I was working with him initially, this is like 5 years ago, was I had access to all his username and passwords. And I was working on the channel, getting it cleaned up, things like that. And whenever he got mad at me, he would change the password. So I could be literally working on the YouTube channel. And if I didn't answer him quick enough, things like that, he would change the password on me. And I said, dude, if you do it one more time, I'm done. And he finally did it one more time, and I was done.
Okay. Well, I guess what I meant was I didn't have anything specific in mind, but maybe you can take what we just talked about and bring it into this Tukey and this video that he claims he has the copyright for, and what happened with that whole thing. Maybe you can shed some light on it.
Yeah, so I think you're referring to when John's kids gave a speech at the wedding between Aaron and Susanna, John's ex-wife, and her new half black husband.
Right.
And I don't know if there's such a big deal about it. Sure, whoever owns that video can claim that they own the copyright, but does the person that's using it do it in a manner that's considered fair use? So just because you own the copyright, it doesn't mean that someone can't display it. And a lot of my criticism of you was that you were just playing videos that weren't yours without any commentary. And I said,
I can't, because I don't know how to bring it in and stop it. It doesn't stop. But I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you could figure that shit out. But I would say, Meathead, stop doing that, because if someone claims copyright on any of these videos that you don't own, and you're not putting some sort of spin on it, and you're not transferring this video into something that's new by commenting on it, then potentially the original owner can make a copyright claim.
No, Vince, what they do is whenever I play something that I think is funny that the audience might want to see, is I'll play it, and then what they'll do is I won't get any of the advertising from it. It just plays, and then I have to trim it and take that part out afterwards. I don't get any strikes. The worst thing that's going to happen is they, whoever video it is, Jesus is my N-word, they take the little bit of money that comes in, and I take that hit, because it's nothing, and the reward for the audience to see something I think is funny is better. Does that make any sense?
It does. The only thing is, like, they can technically still strike your account if they want to, if the owner wants to. Generally, it's smarter for them to have you play it and for them to get the revenue. Yeah. But yeah, either way, Casey, it's better to at least put some commentary on something as opposed to just putting someone's work.
If I could stop the fucking thing, Vince, I would, but I can't. I have to play the whole thing until the end, and then I could say shit, but by that time it's too late. All right.
Yeah.
People got shit to say to you, so go to Not Perfect. Not Perfect. Go, hey, Vince, would you entertain a 3-way with Casey and Phil? I thought you were talking about a conversation, Not Perfect. I think, how do you take this one? Because it might be in a little...
yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know how the positioning is going to be. I like Phil, Casey. I have nothing against Phil. He has very thin skin in terms of blocking people. And I think you were going through this initially when people come on. You think everyone that makes a negative comment is me, which I thought was hilarious. You know,
I would say 90%.
Yeah, 90% were me, but the ones that weren't me would get me mad, 'cause I'm like, that one wasn't me. All right.
I would have said that.
All right, the 20 other were me. But with Phil, if he would just at least allow the comments to go through, he would be way more successful. But he just doesn't have the ability to say, all right, these people are trolling me, but I'm going to read it anyway. And that's what makes these shows fun.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry if I'm not taking enough time on each one, because I got so many to get to. Here's I'm coming back to me. Do you like Stuttering John as a person?
Yes.
Do you think Stuttering John is a good person?
Yes.
Do you think Stuttering John is an honest person?
Yes.
Okay, that's his opinion. Voltaire, no, Whatnot Chaser comes on. Whatnot wants to go, hey, Vince, how many times were you slapped like the ant you are before you became a lawyer and could threaten to sue?
I think that Casey, I got into a lot of potential fights, but I would always try and get myself out of it before I would actually get harmed physically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Way out of it.
yeah, so I didn't become a lawyer so I can have some revenge on people. It was kind of like the opposite on some level. So yeah, I wasn't really into many situations where I was actually getting physically harmed.
Okay. Yeah. Now I read this one. Coming back here, I read this one on the internet, and I hope this is okay to bring up. It's on the internet, so.
Go ahead.
What was the story that you successfully were vindicated in the court case that involved Mo versus Bessie? Can you explain what the whole thing was about?
Yeah, you had brought it up once before that you had this big secret document that you're going to use against me. 'Cause I heard you.
I was just fucking.
Yeah. It's okay. So
You were vindicated. They said that you weren't guilty.
I don't think I was vindicated yet. I may have been, Casey. I don't even pay attention to it because
I didn't know how to read it anyway.
yeah. We had I don't know if it's over yet, but there was a guy, I think it was Moore, M-O-R, his last name was. He's fucking like this. I don't even care. Like the guy was just a nut. He rented a space from us in our office. He rented an office from us. And I think he was pissed because they were increasing the rent by like $50, something weird. And the guy flipped out on me. And I remember, Casey, I was going to Florida the next day. He comes into my office and takes a crumpled up piece of paper, throws it right in my face. Like I'm sitting at my desk. So I get up and I tell you, he's like 6 foot, 150 pounds. Dude, I took the guy, right? I didn't want, dude. And mind you, this is a law firm. I take him, I pick him up, and Casey, it was weird. He didn't fight at all. Like when I grabbed him,
He's never been in a fight in his life.
I know, but like the dude is so obnoxious. When I'm saying he's obnoxious, I mean I'm saying he's obnoxious. And
You're saying it.
Yeah, I'm saying it. And like when I picked him up, like I took him and I picked him up, and I slammed him into the back of there was a file cabinet outside. I picked him up from my office and outside my office. Now, mind you, this is a professional office. That's supposedly, and then another Jewish attorney comes. He's like, Vince has got a premise permit. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I'm like, dude, I'm not talking about my gun here. All I was thinking about is like, I don't want to like get into anything serious because I'm leaving the next day because you never know, this guy will come. So like, that was this guy Moore. Now I don't know what his situation is, but that's what it was about. And he like made up all these other claims. I don't know if it was dismissed yet or not. I'm confident
He
eventually.
threw a piece of paper in your face.
In my face, dude. Like, and you know how like the one thing, Casey, that he said that was accurate. He's like, "You fat fuck." And at the time, I was up to 220 pounds, and I'm like, because I actually had this on video. I had a camera that was facing outside just for this fucking purpose. He did something like this before. And I look at the video, Casey, and I see like my stomach was protruding at the time. I could only bench like 185 pounds. I remember this distinctly. Like nothing mattered to me except for that comment. You know,
Holy
like
shit.
yeah.
Now,
So-
Vince, with him taking and throwing that paper at you, and you putting your hands on him, was that considered when he threw the paper at you? Was that considered an act of violence?
Yeah, it would be, and technically, right? So if you take something and you threaten, even with a punch, that could be an assault in theory, and then the physical contact is battery. So when you hear the terms assault and battery is generally the physical contact. Now, New York is a little bit different, but yeah, when you take something, anything, and throw it at someone's face, sure, and I have a right to defend myself
So
when it comes to.
you feel threatened, intimidated with, even if it's a piece of paper, we know it's not going to hurt you, but who
Right.
knows what else he's got to throw at you?
It's not even that. When someone comes into your space and physically batters you, then yeah, you have a right to defend yourself. I didn't harm the kid because it's so weird, Casey. Because like, well, you know, even if you ever tie up,
You launched him.
yeah, and if you tie up with someone, either they're gonna swing at you or something. It was like just like a I don't know if you wanted me like to hurt him or something, but again, like I knew that I was leaving the next day, so I didn't do anything physically to him besides pick him up and throw him out in the office.
Yeah,
But
but you can't throw shit at people's faces. You can't
No,
do
you can't. You can't. And like that's why this other attorney came in because I had just gotten my premise permit at the time. I'm like, I'm not gonna pull out a handgun over this shit, you know, like over this fucking idiot. But yeah, I know that. And the funny thing is, for everyone out there, when Casey was mad at me because like he thought I was pranking him all day, he had brought up that name. And when I heard the name, I'm like, that sounds familiar. Then I've remembered about that case.
Yeah, it was just one of those. Hey, explain this, whatever.
Right.
In the court case we just discussed, who called who a fucking faggot?
He called me a faggot. Now, again, like I don't care so much about the name shit, but like if it does ever go anywhere, like you got to defend yourself. So if someone's making these crazy claims and things like that, it just has to come out as to who the person is.
Mm-hmm. So basically, those are fighting words, saying something like that to somebody.
Not necessarily. Again, I never gave a shit about it. I was never like physically mad at the guy, but when he called me fat because I watched the video and then I looked at myself and like, he's so Casey. I joined the gym, I think the next day or something.
So
when I got back,
you could thank
it really
him.
was, yeah. Because I always tell the attorney that's handling the case, I'm like, the only thing I remember from the guy is when he said that, because I really didn't deal with him at all, except for that instance.
Yeah, well, he probably didn't call you fat after you launched him a couple stories outside your office. But let's go to Voltaire. It's your guys' turn. Voltaire, what year did you graduate from Syracuse Law?
2001.
That's a big school, ain't it?
Syracuse itself is pretty big. Syracuse Law School is not that big. I chose the school, Casey, because of the football team and the basketball team, and it was in New York, right? So if you think about,
probably 8-1 girls too. Girls,
yeah, the girls, yeah. The general school's got a lot of good-looking girls at Syracuse.
Oh yeah.
How did you choose Western Kentucky?
We're not doing questions about me, but it was the girl to guy ratio. They ran the option, and I'm short quarterback, and they had broadcasting. Men's International. How much to kick him?
I'll buy if you want to do like $100 to kick me off.
Sodomy. So nice, Casey. Help man in hat with mental illness.
Is she talking about you or me?
I don't know, and she could be speaking to either one. So.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll come back here now. Vince, why do you attach yourself to Stern Show people? Is it that you're a huge fan, or do you benefit from these relationships? We're speaking of Eric, John, whoever it may be. And that's a compound question, ain't it?
It is, but I guess the answer would be yes to both, because how I even got involved at all, my friend Michelle Jerson was on the original Howard 100 news team. Do you remember when they went to Sirius? There was like 12 people on the news team.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch.
Yeah, she was one of them. And I went to middle school and high school with her. She introduced me to Eric. And that night we went around and we toured Sirius before even Howard went there. And I was a huge fan beforehand. But when we went up there, so then I met Eric that same night. And we went to Del Frisco's, the steakhouse at Sirius. Paid for Eric's dinner, and I never got rid of him since then. I swear to you. But I like hanging out with Eric, not because of the show. I do love his personality. He's so open and he's very outgoing. So Casey, you and I are very similar, which we found out. Like when I'm in a social setting, I'm very introverted for the most part. And Eric is the exact opposite. And he can talk to people all day long. And I love it. Like he's like my representative for the most part.
Dude, being a single guy, if you're with Eric, you don't have to do any work. I mean, he'll go up, he'll talk to the hottest group of girls out there, and he'll go up there and be friendly. And he's so unassuming that, hey, I want you to meet my friend Vince. I want you to meet my friend Casey. And he really is fun to hang out with.
We know that when you hooked up with a girl on one of the trips with Eric that you took, he came back and said it on the air. Casey was making out with some blonde, I think. And I think you were dating someone at the time. Do you recall that?
Yeah, I was in my young age. When I was young, I was an asshole.
You were an asshole. I don't know why you put yourself down in terms of hooking up with other people. Even that whole Amarie thing. If you're under 30, dude, you should be hooking up with as many people as possible. I mean, I don't know what the big deal is. I don't know why you shy away from even like speaking positive.
That's a whole nother thing. But you, so you answered that good. So people want to know, like, why is Vince always But I want to know is John is not a good person. I don't believe it when you said you think he's a good person or he's an honest person. He's definitely not. What do you get from being around John? I know you might think he's funny to the way he lives his life, but what is it? What is it that makes you want to be around this person?
It's not so much that I want to be around him. I think he's fucking entertaining. I really do. And I believe, Casey, that just because the way he was raised produced what he is today, I don't believe fundamentally he is an evil person. I don't believe he's a criminal that's going to repeat crimes 100 times. I always say this, that you have to size people up. Either someone has committed one crime or 100 crimes, meaning a constant criminal will continue to commit crimes. And you got to determine who this person is. Every one of us has done something that's quote unquote criminal. Okay. Can you learn from that?
Or do they feel bad about it?
Yeah. So let's just say that Coach Armstrong physically abused you. If Coach abused you and you came out to be a narcissist, should I treat you differently because of something that you couldn't control, who your parents were?
No.
Yeah, so that's the way I feel about John, and it's not an excuse, and it doesn't make me say his behavior is fine, and certain things I don't agree with, and I tell him that. But I like him, Casey. I do. I understand that I can only get any person can only get so close to someone that has that personality disorder, right? But it wasn't John's fault that he was physically abused.
Yeah, but hasn't everybody been through some bullshit in their life that isn't fun or affects them in a negative way? And why is that an excuse?
Yeah, you're right. Just to a certain extent, you're right. But things that he has, it's pervasive, meaning that it really will never change. So the John that you knew back at K-Rock is the John that you know today.
Same guy.
Yeah, and that's like their characters. And I'm not claiming John's a narcissist, but if he was, he would have the same characteristics. They would be very distinct and be very predictable. But he also can't control it.
You're saying that a guy can't control being selfish, being a liar, trying to benefit off of other people and using them. I don't think that is an excuse, no matter what the hell he went through.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to give specific examples. Then
yeah. This isn't me having an argument with you. We're just asking you questions. So thank you for that. Thank you, Sadamia. Out of me. And let's go to AJ Drinks. Thanks for some background noise with my baking. What are you baking, AJ? What do you got going on over there? Are you breaking some brajoles? All right, good.
Did your mom have anything special that she would make for Christmas?
Tomorrow, she's I go to her house tomorrow. She's making sauerbraten. That's the Christmas day. I did the easy. I did the spaghetti and meatballs, and it turned out awesome. Everybody was happy. Don DeLuise goes to you, Vince. Hey, remember when Casey thought I was you? F you, Vince.
Yeah, I do. Because Don would come on my show too. And Casey, when I would see the review of your show for mine, Dom would come up and you're like, I know that's Vince. It's Vince that has all. And I would read it and I would get mad. I mean, a lot of them were me, but when it wasn't, it would actually bother me.
Yeah, man. Getting to start this whole thing in the first couple months, it's when someone throws a wrench, then you think that's the way it goes, but you learn more and more. And it's Don DeLuise is a good dude. You know who's an awesome dude? It is Mr. Leo Guns, and he just gifted 10 Casey Armstrong memberships, and I got to say thank you. He's helping me build this channel, and you're going to be written on Coach. You're already written over there, Leo. I'll show you later, but thank you so much, man.
And I want to say, too, that Leo Gunn is one of the guys that you see, or girls, whoever, that is supporting multiple channels in the Dabbleverse, and those are the people that are keeping this thing going and that really built it up. I mean, because if you look at the dues payer and his channel, a lot of it has been consistent participation by people basically giving money away. But it's fun to give a super chat and see your super chat read on the air. And Leo Gunn is everywhere. And you're awesome. Right. I give all the money back. Now, today, I don't know if you know, I sent a pizza delivery in Cortland, New York to that guy Zenhauser.
He lives in Cortland.
Yeah, Cortland Manor or Cortland. It was upstate New York.
That's where SUNY Cortland is. That's my brother's
Yeah.
football team. They won the national championship this year, just a couple days ago.
Cortland did?
Cortland D3s.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, who's the John was in the same hospital as another guy who played football there. Who's like the famous guy, King of Queens dude, went to Cortland.
Kevin James. He went
Yeah.
to Cortland.
Yeah, he played football
Really?
at Cortland. Yeah, football.
I didn't know that. Shit, Mick Foley wrestled over at Ward Melville, but we can go on with that. Here's my next one. Hey, Vince, do you like Shuli? Who do you? Let's start. First question.
there.
We're not doing
Yeah.
compound
Do I
question.
like? No. Yeah, I like Shuli. Shuli and I have been friends for the long, like real friends, not bullshit friends. But you hear on my show, I'm very critical of his work that I don't like, but I like him.
Okay, all right, good enough. And look at this. Guess who else is going on Coach's body? It's
Wow.
Spectre, 9065 Road. He just gifted 10 Casey Armstrong memberships. Spectre, thank you so much. And who is that in the picture? Who is that handsome cat? I would like to know. But thank you so much. You're very generous, and Merry Christmas to you.
Who was the last girl you dated seriously?
That is another program. We're doing Vince. Vince, who do you respect most in the Dabbleverse?
Bob Levy.
Why?
He's got such a great ability to perform. And Casey, you know this better than I would. Now, when we both were at the Potsdam debacle, the show that Shuli ran, when you see the level of comedic ability and even from a technical standpoint, I never realized how amazing Bob was.
No, Vince, nobody will follow him. Nobody.
I don't blame him.
Not even Jim Norton, and he said it.
Oh, fuck Jim Norton. I mean, compared to almost every comedian that I've ever seen perform, I could not believe how amazing this
Bob
guy
is a beast. He is an animal. He is the best. And my best jokes are the ones he gave me 10 years ago. You know?
Yeah. Who do you think? Who's better? And if you had to rank them, Artie or Bob? Just straight stand up.
I would say Bob, because Artie's going to tell stories. He's fucking so funny. But anybody who goes to a Bob Levy show, there is nobody who's not going to have a good time. He's going to do he's going to do crowd work, and he's going to make it sound like it's new. And he's going to make it sound like you've never heard any of it before. And he's just coming up with it at the top of his head. And people love him, and they are dying, and they leave there going, that was a great show.
Yeah, I agree. Unless you're like a fan of Artie, which I am, so I get his inside stories and I get like his obscure sports references, but there's really no comparison. I mean, Artie's great, but
Artie's hilarious.
Hilarious, but Bob is just another level. And if you never seen Bob perform and all you saw him on the Dues Payer show, you would never believe it.
Right. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that he's that much of a beast. And in a second, he'll have that room where nobody is doing anything but staring at him and paying attention to him.
Yeah, because the crowd that we were at the Potsdam debacle was not easy to work. It was a bad setup.
The lights were on too, I think.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I saw you go out there, and like you haven't been out there in a while. Now, another one, Anthony Cumia, has got some great stand-up quality, and I never saw him perform stand-up before. And after Bob, and I won't put you in the ranking, but you weren't as good as Bob and Cumia, I think you would admit. Those two were standouts of the show. I mean, everyone else was just like subpar.
Yeah. Do you respect Phil?
Yes.
Were you really feeling physically threatened by him when he said he would fucking drive to New York City?
Yes.
Okay, I get it. Everybody understands.
Do you understand, though? The epitome of what I do is what happens there, where I annoy you so much that you break out of who you are and you threatened to drive to kill me. That makes me so fucking happy.
I know you were fucking giddy, you knucklehead. You totally were.
And what I love about it too is that he tried to cover it up. That's why I do love Phil. Like, he will never admit that was serious, and he never said he was sorry. And to me, that was hilarious.
Hey, who's better? Actually, let me go to My Lost Interest, who does great shit. I don't know if you've ever seen his channel. He does great shit. But Vince perfected the art form of being a prick. Hey, I think everyone here, holy shit, there's 500 people here. There's 500 people, I think, that would agree with you. My Lost Interest, you're pretty awesome. Good one, bud.
Hey, and he's another good supporter of the Dabbleverse. I'll acknowledge the people that actually give back to this universe that we're in.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, who's better on the air, Phil or Shuli?
That's a tough one. I'll say Shuli by a little bit, only because Shuli gets the joke and Phil doesn't. But actually, Phil's got a better delivery, and yeah, I'll say Shuli though, just by a small margin.
Okay. All right, yeah, let's go over to Tyler Durton, sorry, from them. He was in Fight Club, right? Hey, Casey, any chance of getting Johnny on the podcast? No, John can suck my Christmas dick, actually.
No, they're talking about Johnny Fratto's son, Junior.
Oh, Johnny Jr., yeah, I'm sure he'd love to do it. I talked to him a little while ago. You think people would like to hear from him?
I think so. I mean, he wasn't like his father. You know, I worked with his father on a few things. Yeah, he was trying to buy what was it, like the message board.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He had Eric do something, and I thought he was crazy when he was doing it. But yeah, he was such a great. I miss him a lot. But yeah, he was trying to get Eric. Did Eric have his own? No, it was a social club, and you you did some law, some what did you do?
He wanted to purchase there was a message board, the Howard Stern message board. I forgot exactly what it was, and the numbers were large, almost in the near $1 million.
Was it Mutz?
Yes,
okay.
That guy.
So
for those who don't know, like, Johnny Fratto's dad was a big head in the mafia in the Midwest, and Casey.
Luigi.
Yeah, and you eventually worked for that guy's son, Johnny. Which was Johnny Fratto.
No, I worked for Johnny out in California for years, and it was awesome to me.
How did you hook up with Johnny initially?
It might have been the girl that I was with was playing for the Lingerie Football League, and somehow the photographer maybe made the introduction, something like that. But it turned into me living either at his house or his son's house in Beverly Hills. I had my address was his place, and I took care of him. We went to Vegas. I would bodyguard him. He was my boss for whatever nonsense we were doing. But you would have liked him, man. Yeah, he was a good dude. But you worked with him. So
I did like Johnny Fratto Jr. So like Johnny Fratto, so senior. And I've never met his son, but I know that he wasn't as charismatic as the dad. And obviously he has a small kid, and the kid's a little bit older now. But when you were working for him, how much were you getting paid?
Oh, again, that's another show. We're doing Vince tonight. It's Christmas Eve. We're doing Vince. I'm not afraid to answer these things, but there's so much shit to go through. I don't want to get involved with me. I'm with me all day. It's fucking boring. Here we go. Let's go to APAR. Rumor: Stuttering John is receiving government assistance in California and Florida.
I don't know anything about it one way or another.
Okay. Here's a great one. Casey's hairline. You guys are pricks. Who has the worst hairline in the Dabbleverse? Hack. I'm sure Vince, you and me, I think we're going through the same thing.
I mean, I still have hair, but like I wear a hat, Casey, because of the green screen. Like, if you take your hat off, does your hair get all pixelated in the back? So yours doesn't, Because you have bet.
Keep the shit in my hands, the black shit.
Yeah, that's what I don't like either. So, but I'll say that I guess the dude's pair doesn't have any hair. I don't even think he shaves the top of his head.
Okay.
Did you ever work, Casey? Did you ever work with Shuli on the show at all?
I believe I was gone. I think he started at Sirius and was doing the news, and I was gone before they went to Sirius. So, here's one. Okay, here we go. So we'll come back to me now after my hairline. Do you kids really watch Stuttering Joe, or SJ as they say?
Yes, 100%. They watch, even they watch you. My son Devin is more into your channel. He's like, why is Casey on at 9, then 9:10? Like, because you delay your shit. Because I know what you're doing behind the scenes, like fucking around. He gets so mad that you go on late. But yes, they 100% watch what's going on. They know every single term. They say Scola. They know Uncle Johnny, and even starting to get into Uncle Bob. But yeah, they do. They seriously watch almost every one of your shows.
Now, how old are they, Vince?
Devin's a freshman in high school, and Alexandra's 9 years old. So I'm very liberal when it comes to words. So it's always suck my dick. They hear that shit all the time from me.
You can hear it in school anyway. So
I don't give a shit, Casey. There's not one word that they can't say when we're in private to me. Not one thing. They can call me a cocksucking motherfucking bitch, and like understanding the context, if they're joking around or whatever it is. Like the way I was brought up was, my parents weren't these liberal hippies. Like people think that they were just normal, like middle class, Long Island people. But for whatever the reason, I'm just very liberal with words.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't think parents really understand that when they go to school, they're going to hear 10 times worse.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah. Okay. Did your kids ever send John anything, or was that all you?
No, they did. Devin sent them the O'Douls one time.
That's a funny joke for a kid that age,
dude. The thing was, he wasn't joking around. He saw, because Casey, everyone better. Yeah, because they have that in health class, and it was me too. I mean, they're coming down hard on me because like I'll come home and I'll drink one beer. I'm not like getting drunk like John, and the kids just flip out about it. So I actually had bought O'Douls, although like it was made by the same company that makes Bud Light. So I was just like, I didn't realize that, because I'm on the bandwagon of not drinking anything made by Bud Light or any of that company called InBev, out of pure spite. I don't give a shit that they're for or against trannies, but like us white people, I said white, we never have anything to boycott. Like we're always just, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm doing it out of pure spite, and I'm still doing it. Like I know you, like
your Democratic Party really has to go against the.
Yeah, well, part of being a Democrat is accepting other people's views. Just because someone is a for or against it, you have to accept it.
Gotcha. Well, Bud Friedman, he wants to go. John is a user scumbag, only cares about John. I worked with him, Bud, for many years, and I will back you up. Fact, what you're saying is true. Vince, your thoughts?
Bud, he does care about other people than himself.
Give me an example once.
He's done things for people that I know.
Non-answer.
Yeah, like you want something specific that he's done? I was going on the joke that the user and the scumbag were true, but like if you want to give me now an example of that he cares about someone else, because I said that he does care about other people. It's like that joke went over.
It's too much brajol. All right, that's okay. Thank you, Bud. Very nice. You got Men's is back. Men's International. Thank you very much. Rumor on the street is you have to stare into a mirror while masturbating to get off, dry or with lube. Are you talking to me or Vince?
Well, I don't know about the mirror, but I don't know. When I was younger, it was dry, but now it's been lube for like the past 10 years.
I can understand that. That makes sense to me. Hey, Shane. Thank you, Menza. Hi, Shane. Merry Christmas, Casey and Vince. Merry Christmas to you.
I'm wondering if people like surprised that you and I are even friendly with each other, considering that we were in such a massive war.
Yeah.
And there was nothing fake about it, too. I know that behind the scenes, Casey was telling the dude's pair was telling me how pissed you were.
I was mad. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. He was telling me, and
because it was. We can discuss it at another time, but it wasn't like the shit about me. Okay, fine, I can take it, but when you brought in other people, and I gotta fuck this guy up. I don't want people doing this. I gotta make an example. But then I realized that's not how this shit is, and that's a dumb way to think. So,
which I appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you're a funny guy. I didn't know. I didn't see the Karate Kid. I didn't know the scene you were talking about. I just thought it was really funny because it was so absurd, you know. Nice. All right, hey, go to Pete D. Hey, Pete, Merry Christmas, guys. Vince is the best. I would love to see more of you two doing shows together. Yeah, cool. I like Vince too. George, Vince, who won the TV? Your neighbor again?
So we're giving away John's second TV, which is one of my used TVs for my office. But we're picking it tomorrow at 8. Of any one of the comments randomly, it'll be selected. By the way, Casey, I was looking at like your giveaways and stuff. You can't do it to people who give the most amount of money. Everything's just got to be just like totally random shit like that.
Yeah.
Not
I
that like
was calling you a wet blanket. I was like,
I know I didn't.
Do
Do you want to hear something funny? I didn't even know that. Devin was looking up the rules, like how to like pick it. Like there's a software that picks it, and it's like, by the way, these are the laws. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that. I had no idea.
That's weird. But Vince, why can't? What is the harm in that? Where you reward somebody for giving the most or something like that? Why is that against the law? Who is it hurting?
Yeah, it would be gambling because the more you would actually wager / give in Super Chat, you have a better chance of winning. And there are a lot of laws pertaining to sweepstakes and contests for this exact reason, which admittedly I didn't even think about when I was doing it, because we're in such a small world, you don't think of those types of situations. But
yeah, totally. Hey, by the way, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming in. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas Eve. I see over 520 people in here. Do me a favor and do Vince a favor. Please, can you just do that? What is it? The like and subscribe thing, Vince? Is that helps us out?
Well, that's what they say. I never ask for the like or subscribes. I just feel like.
Well, I just asked for them. It's my Christmas present. But guys, really, thanks for being here. And if I know that helps, so please do that. Now let's go to Mr. Movie Star Fingernails. I like this person. Merry Christmas, Case and Vince. Are you part Jewish? If you're talking to me, I'm not. Vince?
No, I'm not either. 100% Italian.
But isn't your wife Jewish, part of the tribe?
Yeah, but she's 100% Jewish, but doesn't make me Jewish, obviously.
Right. Oh, look at Leo Gunn coming in here, and he's going to get his name on Coach again. Merry Christmas to Casey, Vince, and all the chatters. Thanks for the nice words earlier. Cheers. Leo's a good dude. Vince likes him too, right?
Yeah, I mean, not just because it gives money away, but like it helps grow this thing, because if people don't contribute, then no one's going to do any of this stuff. Yeah. And the days are boring, and I get it. It's like when I'm like away and in a car, like just to listen to any of this bullshit is great. And it's like I don't, because I'm in the city and I'm driving a lot, I don't get to listen to the radio as much, but I get the benefit of being involved in all this bullshit. It's fun.
Yeah, and it reminds me of like when I used to drive in from Long Island, I entered at Comedy Central, and of course I would listen to Howard because it was a soap opera. And that's basically what this whole thing is. Who said what against who, and why did they do that? Did you hear what happened? It's Stern Show, that's all it was, right? It was getting invested in the characters.
I was listening to another show, an old show, and Howard's saying how you drove like a maniac and cut Ronnie off right as you were coming into the tunnel. Was that true? Was that really true?
Yeah, I was trying to impress him by I had to beat him there, but Ronnie was Howard was fucking pissed, and Ronnie goes, "Hey, don't do that. Howard don't like that. Don't do that again."
So you saw the limo on the
close to fucking kicking me. He was because I came in from the island in my chicken cutlass, the Oldsmobile. And I saw his limo, and I'm like, he can't beat me. I got to get there to open the fucking door. So I was fucking running red lights and just being a dumb kid. and I learned quickly not to do that. So Leo, thank you, buddy. Let's go to Vince. You want to help me out here?
666 in honor of Vince. How long have you been married, Vince? Love you, KC. I've been married, I think, 15 years now.
Okay. And
And we can't. You don't know. You won't tell us like when your last relationship was.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. Someone who was a steady.
Yeah, like a steady.
Yeah, like a one on, like a
Yeah.
committed relationship. Actually, that was one of the friends that I saw today. We make better friends, but it was a long time ago. Movie Star Fingernails goes, Vince, do you secretly listen to MLC podcast? Yeah. Do you ever listen to that?
Never. Do you?
Yeah, I think he's funny.
Oh, did you ever listen to Opie and Anthony back in the day?
Yeah, on my way home I did. Yeah, I thought
Oh, you
Anthony was
did?
funny. Yeah, Anthony was really
Yeah.
funny.
It's weird because I never did at all. I've never listened to 1 minute of their shows ever, so I didn't really know who
Really?
they were. Yeah, like, and
Well,
I found a lot of people like where we're from either listen to Howard or Opie and Anthony, but not both.
Well, this was before Howard was on 24 hours a day, and you went in the morning if you were a commuter from the island of Jersey or whatever. Coming in, you listened to Howard, and on the way out, afternoon drive 3 to 7, you'd have the Anthony show.
Okay, yeah, I just never got into it. So no, I don't listen to MLC at all. At all.
Okay. Thanks, Movie Star Fingernails. I can't read it. Can you read it? Then?
Merry Christmas, Case. Fuck Vince the lawyer.
Oh no! Merry Christmas, Cage. AJ Drinks. There you go. No, I guess I could do it. I could read that one. I don't have my glasses. AJ Drinks. Making cookies is Stuttering John's.
Close to his children. Yeah, I mean, as close as you get. They're older now. I mean, we're not kids anymore, right? They're past college.
They're adults. They're like 18, right?
Yeah, one is like Oscar, his son is graduating high school, but the other two are out of college already, so they got their own things going on.
Gotcha. Thank you, AJ Drinks. Janisa, hey buddy. Vince, what's your exact height? I'm gonna say 5'10", 9?
No, 5'8".
8. Okay.
So how tall are you exactly without those elevator shoes on?
Fuck you. Elevator shoes, man.
Yeah, you do. I snapped a picture of KC at the Potsdam debacle.
Yeah, but they're not elevator shoes.
Well, whatever. They're like 3-inch heels on them.
I'm 6 foot tall. I would have been a lot taller if I didn't suck weight when I was going through puberty, because nobody in my family, all the men on either side, is less than like 6'2", except for my father. But
your father was 6'2", wide.
No, he was. Yeah, he was 6'2". Yeah,
he wasn't fat. He was just like a big dude.
They call barrel chested.
Barrel chested. That's the epitome.
With skinny legs, like most Long Islanders. Yeah. Bud Freeman. Need more high pitch. He was hilarious the other day. What's he talking about, Vince? Bud Freeman.
When High Pitch and Shuley were sitting at a bar at some comedy club in the middle of Long Island. I think it was the Brokerage or wherever they were performing.
That's in Bohemia,
yeah. Yeah, so I guess they were sitting there, and in walks a guy with a cane, walks up to High Pitch and Shuley and says, "You better stop talking about John." And High Pitch freezes because in real life, High Pitch is so anti-conflict. He'll never physically do anything, right? So he's threatened to kill my kids and me, stab us multiple times on Howard Stern show. But I know in real life, he will never do anything like that. So he freezes. The dues payer's there. He's like, what, 5'4". And there's big hitman Dan, who we didn't know who he was at the time. I actually found out Dan's information for Shuley, and we tracked him down, and like he looked like a typical Suffolk County, like red type skin, like someone you don't want to fuck with. And it turns out like Dan's a really nice guy. I mean, besides threatening to harm Shuley, he's a really nice guy. Yeah. It turns out. Yeah. So he's friends with John. So that's the thing. And Hitman Dan, that's his name now. I reunited them with High Pitch because High Pitch was there, and we're speaking about like what actually went down during that event. So that's what Bud Freeman's speaking about.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks for that. Bud, thank you very much. All right. We're almost getting here. Hey, Cage comes back with Vince. Is John putting on a bit, or is he really that stupid? Does he truly think he's smart and funny and the GOAT? There's no way he listens to himself and thinks he's besting Shuley or Carl. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Cage. Vince, tell us what you think about that.
It's definitely not a bit. Would you agree with that?
No, it's not. He believes that he's that important.
Yeah. He does.
No doubt.
And I believe he is the center of this quote unquote Dabbleverse. Without his actions and reactions that some of you say that he shouldn't do or he should react a certain way, I made that mistake myself. I say, let John be John and everything will be okay in the Dabbleverse. You cannot force John to react a certain way or want him to react a certain way. With regard to him thinking he best Shuley and Carl, he does. It's not hard to best Shuley, and Carl's a little bit higher level, but does he best them for the most part? Yeah. But what does best really mean?
Well, Vince, let me push back on that one, because if you go to John, if you watch John's show, say, I don't know if the exact number, say he has 300 people. You go over to Shuley's channel, Shuley's got 1,000 people, but they're making fun of John. So that says something right there, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of numbers, those two are definitely beating everyone else in this. But, Casey, you ever listen to WFAN?
Yeah.
Right. So, like, at one point, someone said that people talk about sports more than they watch the actual event. Because a football game will be 3 hours, a baseball game 2 hours, whatever it may be. Then you spend the next week speaking about it 24/7.
Or fights the same way.
Same way. Like you and I will discuss a fight for a full week before it goes down, and the fight may last 15 seconds. So it's like, so John is the fight. John is the main event that we have to see, and then everyone else can make it even bigger by speaking about it. But without him, there's nothing to speak about.
All right, so that's a valid point right there. And on this Christmas Eve, I'm going to end with not perfect. And then since we got so many people that came in here, I want to show you a video you may not have seen. But where did Chandler get his money, Vince?
I don't know who David Chandler is. Is that a fan that gives money?
Yeah, he comes in a super chat, and he gives very large amounts. I don't know either, not perfect, but thank you. And I want to thank everybody who came in tonight. And I want to thank my guest, Mr. Vince and Bessie, came in here and was very straightforward and honest. I want to wish him and his family a happy Christmas Eve, and the same to all you guys. Vince, anything you want to say before we get out of here? Because I'm going to play a video and then I'm going to play the end, but I won't let you don't have to stay for it. But I want to give you the final word, and thank you. You did a great job. Thanks.
You're welcome. And first and foremost, obviously, Coach Armstrong was an influential part of my life. So I want to thank you for at least allowing me to be in that world. I know without the people that clean the mats in the morning, we would end up with some form of skin disease, ringworm. Yeah. Is Empertango ringworm?
They're two different things. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I have to say thank you for cleaning the mats at 6 a.m.
You are welcome, Vince.
And without your dad's wisdom and guidance, I don't think I would ever become an attorney. I'm serious. Like, he was influential in my life. But in all seriousness, I do a show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 noon. We go through and we have fun speaking about certain people in the Dabbleverse and others as well. But I appreciate you having me on like a man. Again, even if you're my worst enemy, if you ever need my help, you can call me and we can discuss whatever it may be if I can help at all. Even if we had a past, but we don't anymore. Yeah. So I appreciate all the fans and to the people that are giving money. I was thinking, it's like people are giving in lots of money every day, right? So it's their hard-earned money. And sometimes if you think back, Casey, like if you want to do Netflix for $10 a month, whatever, sometimes you may hesitate to do it, but people are giving $40 and $50 a week, $100. But like, it's weird how this community is growing. Yeah. And without that financial support, it wouldn't grow. So I appreciate all the people that are giving it. And I give back as much as I can too. I give back every single dollar that I give. And it's not this like charitable great thing. It's fun for me.
No, you
Like,
you build it when you do that. You build it up. You keep people
yeah,
on. And,
right.
and
And yeah, it's not all charity, but I do love, like, when I can bring someone down that's really nice, like Phil, to the point where he threatens to come and harm my children to me. Like, that makes me so happy. Like, that is the best thing that could be for me. So I do appreciate that. And the fact that he covers it up makes it even better. So yeah, Casey, I appreciate you having me on again. I appreciate your dad for everything he's done for me. And again, I'll see everyone on next Monday, next year, for my start of our new year with our channel.
Awesome. Vince, thank you so much. You're a gentleman, and thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Everyone else, please do the subscribing, do the like thing. It helps us out a lot. And for people who haven't watched this channel at all, I want to introduce you to what I like to call my intro. And some people get mad at me because I play it all the time. There was this mayor in Philadelphia. His name was Frank Rizzo. And he was a man's man. This guy reminds me of like my dad or like the uncle you had, you know, the guy that believed that men acted a certain way. And if someone, you know, had a problem with him, he'd be like, I'm going to fight you. I want to take you physically. So that's why I want you to watch Frank Rizzo. And if you stick with it, if you're going to take off now, I really, really appreciate you spending time and paying attention here and watching this show. And you and your families have a great holiday. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, everybody, Frank Rizzo.
We wanted to know exactly what was going on up here, so last Monday we rented a van, covered up all the windows, and placed I-Team cameraman Greg Meyer inside that van with his video camera. At about 9:30 in the morning, we parked it right here, sitting just down the street from Mr. Rizzo's house.
Nice hair.
It should be noted that the van was parked on a public street in broad daylight. At no time did any of our people go on Mr. Rizzo's property. What you're looking at is what cameraman Meyer saw through the lens of the hidden I-Team camera that morning. Not much happened for about 3 hours. And then around noon, several police officers became suspicious of our vehicle. If you look closely, you can see some of them in the van's rearview mirror. Now, in just a moment, we'll show you the unedited tape of exactly what happened when one of our I-Team members opened the truck door. But before we do, we want you to know that when the door was open, cameraman Meyer immediately handed over this official Philadelphia Police press pass in order to clearly identify himself to everybody on the scene. And also remember, as you watch this, that Frank Rizzo is not a member of the Philadelphia Police Department, and this is supposed to be an official police matter. Here we go.
We want to know who you are. Yeah.
All right. Wait a minute. Let him identify himself. That's enough. What do you mean that's enough? We want to know who you are. Who are you, sir?
What do you mean?
Can I have some identification? Identification. You ever come out holding your hands up like that, you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, already.
We want to know who you are and what you're doing up here. Who is he? I thought it was somebody up here to hurt somebody.
We're up here for security, you know? Would have been a lot easier to stop and tell us you're here. We don't know. He's saying you have a dog in here, right?
You're a bunch of...
We could have shot you or something. We don't know.
Look at it.
Well, take that thing out. Unhook it. Or I'll throw it out in the middle of the goddamn street. You turn that off. It's on. It's on. Well, it won't be on long. It won't be on long. It's still on. Let me tell you something. You know, I've been around a long time. And I just can't understand. It's all right. I'll pull another one. Get out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing wrong with your TV set. It's just that Mr. Rizzo finally broke our equipment. Last Friday, I asked Police Commissioner Morton Solomon about this incident. And Mayor Rizzo, the former mayor of Philadelphia, after our cameraman had properly identified himself and the police officer at the scene read aloud Philadelphia press pass, Mayor Rizzo, holding the press pass in one hand, reached inside this truck, which we feel he had no right to do, sir, and ripped out the cables off of our recorder and damaged the camera and the cables and the recorder. You've never heard of this before? No one has informed you of this?
No, sir.
Well, that in fact is what happened, and 5 members of your department, sir, stood by and not only did nothing and took orders from the mayor, who was apparently in charge of this operation, but they were smiling and laughing at the same time.
I would like you to present these facts to our internal affair, and we'll be happy to investigate it and consult with the DA about the possible charges.
Yesterday, while openly videotaping on Krefeld Street, we ran into Mr. Rizzo and tried to ask him about his actions last Monday.
Yeah.
There is a Stan Borman from Channel 3 News. Could we,
How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Good.
Could we talk with you for just a moment?
No, I'm busy.
You couldn't answer any of our questions?
I wouldn't talk to you under any condition.
Why is that, sir?
Forget it. Scram. Get out of here.
Sir, I understand that these...
Get away from me. I'm now a private citizen.
Yes,
you
sir.
get away from me.
We're allowed to be on the streets, sir.
I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me.
How do you feel about the security guards being taken off of you, sir?
Get away from me, or I'm going to throw you out in the middle of the street.
Sir, one more question.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
You were the symbol of law and order in Philadelphia, sir, for many years. People looked up to you and respected you.
Look, creep, get out of here.
How could you justify your actions at our cameras last Monday in front of your
get
house?
Out. You're a creep.
We're a member of the media. We'd like to have an answer to our question.
You're a creep.
Why did you attack our cameras, sir?
Get it all. Don't miss any of it. You're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
You know, you hide behind that press card.
I'm not hiding behind anything, sir. I just wanted to get some answers.
I'll tell you what to do. There's a gang of yous here. There's enough of you here. By myself, I'll take yous physically.
Well, I'm not asking you to take me physically.
Well, get away from me.
Well, sir, I'm on the public street. I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it over your. I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb.
You crumb?
That's a challenge. Except I'll put my dog away and I'll come back. And you got 1, 2, 3, and I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the 3 of us, 4 of us, me and you. Show you what kind of a man you are. You're less than a man. Okay? You're a crumb creep. And I wouldn't take that off of nobody. And there's 3 of you and I'm by myself. And when it's over, there'll be nothing to it. Win or lose, okay? But you don't have the courage. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the 3 of yous. And I challenge you. You're a coward. You're a yellow sneak. And if you want to, now what I say, let's forget all the rules of this great country we live in. I will go back to that wall with the 3 of yous. Just me. You're a crumb creep coward. You can't take. You won't stand up to him.
I'm standing up. We're not here to fight. We're here to get some answers to some questions. That's all.
I want to fight you.
Why is that?
Because you're a crumb creep lush coward.
You don't even know me, Mayor.
You are a lush. I can tell by looking at you. I was a cop all my life, and I know a lush when I see one. And you're a lush. You're going to have a hell of a story on that one. Play every word of it, crumb.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
What? Hello?
Well, this afternoon, Channel 3 station manager Bill Aber signed this official complaint with the police department against the officers who stood by and, as you saw, did literally nothing to restrain Mr. Rizzo from damaging our equipment. As you heard Police Commissioner Solomon say just a moment ago, any other charges will be up to him and the district attorney, Ed Rendell. One of the unfortunate aspects of all of this is that we have become the focus of this story. When it all started, we just wanted to know if your tax dollars were being properly spent for the continuing use of security guards for Mr. Rizzo. We still don't have the answer to that question. We do know, however, that 12 hours after our initial encounter with Rizzo, all police officers were pulled off the house. Commissioner Solomon insists that the timing was purely coincidental. A personal note now, if you will. When I walked over to the former mayor on the street yesterday, I was not looking for an invitation to duke it out, and I most certainly did not expect to be maligned and called a lush by Mr. Rizzo. All I wanted were some simple answers to some simple questions, and you saw what happened. By the way, we decided to play the entire interview with Mr. Rizzo unedited so we wouldn't be accused of tampering with the tape to show us in a better light or him in a less favorable light. You saw it exactly the way it went down, no more, no less. As far as Rizzo's charge that I have a drinking problem, I won't even dignify that with any answer.
You're a crumb creep coward. You're yellow. You're a lush. I will put my dog away, and I'll take all of yous. Well, we're not looking here to fight, Mr. Rizzo. Well, I want to fight you. But you won't even fight me because you're not a real man. Isn't that the best fucking thing? I play it every day, and I fucking giggle. It's just, it's you're busting the guy's ass, And what do you expect? That's the world he grew up in. It's a world I'm familiar with. I get it. And if you don't get it, you're a crumb creep coward. You're yellow. I'll put my dog away. I'll take waiver, online tan. I'll take Bud Friedman, not perfect. I'll take all four of yous. We'll go behind the fence, win or lose. Now let's forget all these rules in this great country, because I want to fight you. Hey, we're just goofing off on a Christmas Eve. Guys, while I got you, I'm going to do 1 2-minute video because another one I want you to see, because tomorrow there's a lot of football games. I want you to know what goes behind the scenes at a football game.
What the fuck was that? You fucking idiots! You're all fucking idiots and you fucking suck! Jenkins! You fat black piece of shit! What the fuck is the point of being fat and black if you can't fucking tackle? Jefferson, what did I say is the only career path for you if you're fat and black?
Rapping and tackling, sir.
Thank you, Jefferson. Jenkins, I heard you in the shower, you fat fuck, and you sure as fuck can't fucking rap. So fucking tackle. Or don't be black. Where's Mossy? There he is. Here's my impression of Mossy trying to catch the ball. Oh, sushi egg raw. I'm a karate kid, but I can't fucking catch. Look at my fortune cookie. It says, I don't catch ball. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Clark. Hey, it's the quarterback. The good-looking fucking piece of shit who sucks. Spend all your time sucking on titties and sucking on pussies. Well, I got an idea. Spend less time sucking on pussies and sucking on titties and spend more time learning how to throw the fucking football. Give me that thing. Here's how you throw. You put it back and then you move your arm forward. But you couldn't even hit the side of Weinberg's nose. Stop giggling, Weinberg, you fucking Jewish piece of shit dyke. Yeah, you want to hear a fucking funny joke? I got one for you. Why do Jews play football? To get the quarterback. Still got it. What's up? Yes. Lopez, you looked good. Looked like you learned something from your 8 brothers. You fucking idiots. I don't do this for the fucking money. I do it because I love you guys and I love this team. Now, who are we?
The Blue Devils.
And where do we fuck them?
In the butt.
All right. Let's bow our heads and pray. Weinberg, get the fuck out of here. Lord, give us the fucking strength to beat these fucking pussies out there.
Give us the strength to beat these fucking pussies out there. Hey, guys, listen. I think I missed a couple of Waxer. KC is the best. And Vince, Merry Christmas, y'all. Hey, thank you, Waxer. You too, buddy. Sleepy John goes, hey, Vince, did you get locked out of the MJ account? He's already gone, Sleepy. I'll ask him next time. Let's see. What did I do? Did I find out there? Oh, okay. Here we go. Online torn. Merry Sesmas, KC. Merry Xmas, lawyer on a shelf. You too, buddy. Thanks, online Tom R. You're pretty awesome. Thanks, buddy. Online Tom came back. KC, how's the sheet shitter? Stuttering John. He now blocks people and SCs cause they call him out for being a coward and running from Shuley on multiple occasions. Well, the guy is a coward online, Tom. He is a coward. He's a piece of shit. He can't even hit the side of Weinberg's nose. I don't do this shit for the money. I do it because I fucking love you. All right, I'm going to let you guys get back to your family here. And we got online Tom. Oh, and I just and I read that. Guys, listen, please do me a favor and do the like and the subscribe thing. It helps me out. I'm trying to build this channel, and you guys are really helping me. So I want to wish you the best Christmas for you and your family, Hanukkah, whatever the fuck it may be. And I'm glad you showed up here tonight. And I got to go watch the end of this game. I got the Patriots. The quarterback went to my school. He's a Hilltopper. So I will see you guys. I'm on every night at 9:00, Monday through Friday. Okay. And go and do something nice for somebody these holidays. That's what it's about. Love you guys. See you soon.
I'll give you a 9.
Our pal Casey Armstrong.
Oh, wow. Everybody, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Casey Armstrong. Dude, I'm so happy to be here, man. Yeah.
For my buddy, Casey Armstrong.
Okay. Okay.